All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. Today's Wednesday, June 3rd, 2009, 10:15 p.m. We're going to be discussing three cases from, I believe, February of 2009, and they are case number 670, Hiba Hamid, case number 671, Georgina DeJesus, and case number 672, Sandra Lynn Kerby. Then I have the case that we're going to talk about from last night, and that's case number 762, Lora Burton. But before we start, we have Deborah on the phone with me, as usual, and our guest, Kevin Doyle. So how you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Okay, glad to hear that, Kevin. Deborah, how are you doing? And we had a little conversation about children's gates or something like that. What are you talking about? Putting children in zoos?
Yeah, I was discussing playpens, cages, and leashes for children.
Okay.
Obviously, you know what a playpen is. You know what a cage is, what I call a cage. It's one of those, like, round fence-type things that looks kind of like, you know, the baby gates, and people plant those out in their yard so their kids really can't play and enjoy it out there, you know. I call those a cage. And then when I see kids on a leash, you know, like they're an animal.
Okay, now there's a backpack. I wasn't going to tell you that we actually have the backpack leashes. You know, there's the kids wear the little backpacks, and then they have rope to them. You know, that way you don't lose your kid. I have some of those. We never really used them though, because they never really worked. Something, I don't know. We just didn't like them. You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So you don't like the leash?
No, I don't like the leashes. Don't like the cages.
It's not like they're wearing a dog collar.
Playpens.
They're not wearing a dog collar, though. Well, we actually had a playpen, the collapsible kind with a baby change table. We never used it. So I was telling you earlier, there's a lot of things you don't really need to have or even really use a lot. One of them, for us at least, was a playpen. So you think they're like little prison cells?
Well, I think that the kids that are in the cages, or you know, or on the leash, they're treated like animals instead of children. I had 3 kids, and they were 3 and under for their ages. So if someone could really get a benefit from playpens, cages, or leashes, it certainly would have been me. But I didn't use them. I mean, we had playpens, but they serve 2 purposes. We took them with us when we went places in case we had to set them up and put the little ones down for a nap or down for the night when we'd go places, you know, if we're playing cards or Pictionary or something with friends, so they could sleep, you know, so it was like a little porta crib that we took just for that reason. Or playpens are really great, too, to throw kids' toys in, you know, to keep them out of the way. Otherwise, that's all I use them for. But I went out and about today, had errands to run, and I see playpens in people's yards. And I think that's just so sad. You know, I can see for safety reasons, you know, if mom has to, you know, go in another room or the phone rings or something, and they set the kid in the playpen to make sure that, you know, the kid's going to be fine. Yeah, I guess I could see that, although I didn't do that. But my kids were fine anyway. But anyway, I see that, and I think it's really sad because they can't be, you know, enjoying the nice weather and a nice, bright, sunny day because they can only just go so far, just their playpen only. So then I'm driving a little further, and I see the cages. And I think that's just so sad that the kids are in the cages. And I'm thinking, well, at least I'm not seeing any kids on leashes today. Well, what do you think I see when I drive just a bit further? And I never used any of those things. I watched my kids. You know, I didn't even use baby gates in my house, like for a 2-story, because if my kids were mobile enough that they'd start to crawl up the stairs, you know, I was watching them, and I taught them right away how to go down backwards. So if they were able to start crawling up them, they knew how to scoot down on their tummy too, so they weren't going to get hurt that way. And I didn't believe in, you know, not allowing them in this room or that room. I mean, if they weren't supposed to go in a certain room, I didn't like put a gate there to keep them out of it. They just learned that they weren't supposed to go in that room, you know? So I guess I just did things a little differently. I'm sure that they serve purposes, but I it bothered me to see that on a nice, funny day. No, the little ones aren't really enjoying it as much as they could. But they're safe, and they're not missing, so I guess maybe I have nothing to complain about.
They're not missing.
Right. As long as they're in their cage, we know they're not missing, right?
Now, is anybody watching them in the cage, though? There's a lot of times that you get a false sense of security, though. You should never have a device be your babysitter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think a lot of those things are good, though. But you shouldn't count on them as to being, something to entertain your child or to watch your child. Nick shows up to watch your child. My wife does a very good job on that. I on the other hand, I turn my head for a second, my kids are gone, and so I mean, she does a really good job. But I see exactly what you're saying, though. Putting them in cages, you can only go so far, kind of like a dog kennel or something.
Yeah, well, when I think about it, one thing I did not see today, and you wondered, you said something about parents, parents weren't like tending the cages. There weren't like parents standing next to the cages or anything like that.
They were getting drunk.
On the other end of the leash, but
that's why you have those cages, so you can go get drunk. You know that?
I guess so.
You don't want to be staggering around having to have a kid with you, so you put them in there. Some of these cages now come with beer holders and ashtrays, so you can be right next to them. Stop. Actually, I don't think there's a lot of things out there. Some of them are useless. Some of them are very worth getting, like child seats and stuff like that. As far as the leash goes, I do see some benefits in that, though. Even though it's it's not like a collar around their neck, though. I mean, that would bother me a little bit. But in crowded places, I mean, they're cute little backpacks and they have a little leash on the back. I think they're okay. I actually had one for Samuel because this was our first child, and I used it for a while, but I felt a little ridiculous doing it because people were kind of staring, and I don't know. I mean, I guess in a way, some of it is good, and some of it is something that you really don't need to do or to be using. Well,
I know that even with the best parenting, parents that watch their kids so closely, I know there's times when my kids got hurt, they fell down, or they got into something. You can't watch your kids every second, but like you said, they can't take the place of, a device can't take the place of a parent either.
Right. Well, a lot of people use them, especially I know that we have those little round circular things that you put the baby in, and they can play with all these things, and you can just leave them there forever. It's like a babysitter. I can see
circular things are what I call
I can see the problem with it, but sometimes we've used it, but not not for hours or something like that. But yeah,
you have a cage.
No,
I never had a cage.
No, I'm not talking about a cage. I'm talking about the circular thing that the babies sit into, and there's these little gadgets around there, and they bounce up and down.
Oh.
They used to have walkers.
Those little saucer things?
Yeah, saucers. They used to have walkers, and they found out that their kids could walk all over the house, and then they go downstairs and get hurt. So I think their walkers are gone now.
Those are better than walkers were. They didn't have those exercisers when my kids were little. They make a lot of cool things. I mean, they've made exercisers for years, but my kids are all older. And Jamie said something in chat here. She said that her son went down 13 stairs in a walker. I remember when I had my kids, there were a lot of people that would not have walkers because they thought that they were a danger because kids would go down the stairs. Well, kids can go downstairs and land on the basement floor without a walker.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure the door to the basement is closed, and you childproof your home and stuff, and even that's not always enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't think walkers were too dangerous, and my kids, they went all over the place in the walker too, and crashing into everything. But those exercisers are pretty cool. It's like they can run in those things and it doesn't move.
Do you remember the bouncers? I remember, I don't really remember. We had a bouncer. I used to bounce up and down. This big old rubber band thing where baby goes up and down, up and down.
Yeah,
and they kick off the floor. You kick off. Yeah, you put them in the door. Actually, we found one.
I had the hot
we got one
jumper
now.
For mine.
And Allison loved it. It's a big old clamp now. It clamps onto your doorway or anything that you want. And then it's kind of like a bungee cord, like you're bungee jumping. And then
got a great big spray on it.
You drop the baby, make sure the baby bounces up before it hits the floor, or then if it hits the floor, you have to lower it up a little bit.
My
she
kids
loved
loved
it.
theirs.
Yeah,
The one I had was called the Hop Skip Jumper by Fisher Price. That was pretty cool.
Did you see the video? I had put a thing up a wall with the duct tape kid, where the kid was duct taped to the walls. Do you remember that? I sent you a picture of that.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, I have to show it to you real quick before we get started. I don't know where it's at. I'm just going to try to find it on the internet. Yeah, here it is.
I was in Target tonight, and I was noticing all of the cool things they have for kids now.
Okay, I'm going to send you this link right here. Actually, let me put it up in chat so everybody can see it real fast, okay? It's going to take 1 second. Go on, keep talking, Deborah. I'm going to put this in chat.
Oh, they've got so many cool things for little kids. You know, as far as baby items, the little furniture things, toys. I mean, everything they have now. I mean, things that my kids had for the most part, I didn't even see, as I was just kind of walking through Target and looking down some of the aisles. I didn't even see that stuff. I guess that's just too ancient. They don't even sell it anymore. Some years down the road, I'll have my grandbabies. Not in a hurry for that. And then I'll have fun with all that stuff again. So does your house and your yard look like Little Tykes?
What's that? What do you mean, Little Tykes?
All their little picnic tables and playhouses and little jungle gym climb things.
We have a little house thing and a swing thing. That's it. Okay, can you see that? I'll take off this. I put it up in chat for you guys. That's how you restrain a baby, and while you're restraining the baby, you want the baby to have something to play with. So that's you make sure you put the toys right in there. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Baby looks pretty happy and comfortable, huh?
I think it's hilarious.
Looks like the baby's trying to hold her ducky in.
So is there anything wrong with that picture? Or is I mean, the baby's restrained, right? Looks happy.
Wow.
What?
Oh.
Kevin, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Any thoughts on these new devices that they have out today? You know, for children, babies.
Don't waste your money on the new devices. Use duct tape like the picture, right?
I would say just put a cancerous-causing chip in them, like the government plans to do.
What chip is this?
No, I'm being sarcastic. I think if you're the parent of a child, then you should do what's best. I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to take advice from other parents, but if I think it's the right thing to do for all involved, then I'm going to do it.
Okay. All right, Deborah. I guess we'll hear more from you on what's that show called that you have?
License to Breed.
Okay. Cool. We'll be looking forward to that. Anything else we need to bring up before we get started?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I redid the way that we have missing people on my website. I've made it into 4 pages. It should load a little faster. We also have other links that were set now, so you can see those cases in alphabetical order. And I did one other page with images only. I think that's all I did. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to navigate. Especially the alphabetical order thing, that's good. And that actually comes right from the forum, missing person forum. I think that's all on the website. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, that's all we did on that. So that's up now. That should be loading faster. There was one other thing. Remote viewing section. Deborah, I added some more, another case to the remote viewing section, and I believe that's Air France flight just happened. That's
Right.
the remote viewing section. If you want to go to that, there's a tab up there. It's just where it says other RVs. That's posted. There was a dream from September of 2009 that's up there, and another dream from last week that are almost guaranteed related to this incident, which is a very sad one, but that's posted, and I believe that's RV 500 Air France flight 447. And as far as I know, Deborah, they have found more wreckage, but they have not found the plane nor any bodies, as far as I know of right now.
There was a local woman from here where I live in Michigan on that flight with her 7-year-old son.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I got some statistics and it said U.S. passengers too, so that just might be them then, huh?
Right. Yeah, it was in the news today, and it's on the news sites too. She was a therapist downtown at one of the children's centers.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, I have posted, and I've confirmed those two dreams are almost exactly alike. And if that's true, then I don't think it's an accident. I mean, I know what the reports are saying and stuff. But I don't think it's an accident. Anyways, that's posted on the remote viewing section. To get to that, you just click on where it says other RVs on most of these pages, or actually at the top of the on the website briansdreams.com, where it says. I'm actually looking right now. Where it says public dream viewings, and that's a red tab right there. That will take you to those. So I do more than just missing person cases. That we do murders, a lot of other things like that too, and this just happens to be one of them. Alright, that's done. Anything else, Deborah?
This might be a good time, since you mentioned the Missing Persons Forum, might be a good time to remind everyone to please register for the new Missing Persons Forum. Still under construction, still moving the thousands of posts. And Brian, you gave it a really nice makeover. Looks awesome.
Thank you.
But everyone will have to re-register if they have not done so already. They'll have to register at the new forum at missingpersonforum.com, and you can use your same username and your same password that you used for the other Missing Persons Forum. You'll just have to register it again. And if you have any, if you need any help with that, please send an email to forum@briansprediction.com, and I'll help you out and make sure that you're all registered and whatever questions you may have are answered.
All right, thank you, Deborah. Okay, let's get started. The case I did last night is case number 762. It is posted to the website. This is for Lora A. Burton. Now, Deborah, I know you have some good news. Well, hopefully it's good news. Let us know what went on, what happened so far, and what's the new information that we have.
Well, for Laura's case, there really wasn't much out there. There is a poster up for her at National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at missingkids.com. She'd been missing since April 24th of this year, and she was missing from Crestwood, Illinois. A 15-year-old young lady listed as an endangered runaway. Something that we've seen before is, like the endangered runaway cases, as cases with missing adults, don't always get attention because they look at it that there was a choice made for someone to be missing, and even though it's not legal for a child to be missing, they are a runaway, it just does not get the kind of attention. So there wasn't anything for Lora except for her poster. There was a huge lack on the internet of information about her as far as her being listed in other forums and other places. So she'd been missing for a while, and I thought it was a good time to get her listed and have you work on the case, and gave it to you last night, and her poster was pulled down today.
Okay.
So once again,
that's a little strange. I mean, it is strange when you send. A lot of times we get these cases and you send them and they're found. I mean, she's been missing for over a month.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know how that works, but that's a good thing. So anyway, she's been found. And I just Googled her name. There's no information at all other than her picture's not there. And Deborah just knows that when the picture's not there, that means she's been located. That's why I said hopefully the incidents, everything is okay. There's nothing there at all. There's nothing on the internet that says she's been found other than a missing picture, correct?
Right, and this isn't the only, missing child case that's happened with where we can't find a confirmation link either.
So really, there's no news or nothing on this case at all other than what was from the National Center, right?
Right, and once they, pull that poster, then, we have all we can do at that point is, take that to mean that they are located.
Okay. Real quickly, we'll do the dream drawings from last night. The first one says, fight, black man, they are fighting. There's a drawing of that man up there. The second dream drawing says party, she's leaving him. His crimes are no longer acceptable. The letters HQ. No danger, will return to him in July. That could mean that even though she's safe now, she might actually go back to this person and run away or whatever happened. Again, next one says respect, suitcases, bottles on shelves, 2 days, look for the lights, safe, and then the word Deborah. Pretty sure that's Deborah, D-E-B-R, that looks like Deborah. And that might be you, Deborah, because you did request it. But she was found. It looks to me maybe she went with this person, and she got into some type of fight with him, maybe over some of the stuff that he's doing, and maybe illegal activities or something like that. So she left, and it says 2 days. So that would kind of fall in line to what happened. Only thing I would want to make note on, it says we'll return to him in July. So let's hope that it doesn't happen, or I mean, well, I really don't know too much about the case at all, though. I mean, but that's what it says. We'll return to him in July. So that's all I got. Kevin, I've got your notes from here. Do you want to read those?
Yes.
Okay.
This case there, I lost track. Which case was this?
This is case number 762. This is Lora.
Is that Georgina?
No, this is Lora Burton. Lora A. Burton.
For Lora A. Burton, on my meditation, I have alive, abducted, in danger, basement, house number 1436, making videos, male named Jonathan. Another abduction victim may be added soon. And in my notes after the meditation, I say it could be part of a internet sex slave room where we make videos and send them to clients to watch. I decided to try something new to add to my meditations and then my notes after the meditations. It's what's called dowsing, and I use a pendulum to dowse with. My pendulum is just a little quartz crystal, single terminated. It's got a piece of fishing line attached to a key ring. And there's about 3 inches of space between the key ring and the crystal, and I just use that to dowse with. But using my dowsing, I always ask permission before I dowse to see if it's okay for me to dowse concerning whatever situation I'm dowsing for. Basically, I just ask questions, and then my dowsing basically says yes or no or maybe, and that's it. But it has to be a brief, direct, complete statement, question that I ask. But here in this case, I asked if Lora will be found alive. I received a no. And I then asked if the perpetrators involved will be caught within 100 years. Now, the reason why I said 100 years is because, I didn't have time to sit there and ask, well, will they be caught within 5 minutes, or will they be caught within 1 week or 1 month? But I got a no on that. So I then doused to see if I could change these events so that the case is solved in the most immediate time frame for all involved. And the answer was maybe. In dousing, I can also sometimes change the energy of things to where it changes the event, the near future event. That's hard to explain, but everything's energy. If you have your own way of doing it, you can successfully you can sometimes do things for the best and for all involved. I then doused to try and change the current events of this case into a more optimum case closure for all involved, and that means for the family, for the investigators, even for the people involved in kidnapping or involved in the abduction or whatever. So I tried to, using dowsing, reform all non-beneficial energy concerning the whole case. And after that, I doused for optimum case closure, which I then received a maybe and yes. And sometimes I'll receive the pendulum will swing one way, meaning yes, no, or maybe. And sometimes it'll go to another answer. In this case, it's a maybe or yes. That means that I may or may not have helped to make a more optimal case closure concerning this case here. And that's it. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Our next case, these are the 3 cases that we do every night. The first case is case number 670, Hiba Hamid. The case was opened on February 8th of 2009. Deborah, what information do we have for Hiba? Is that how I pronounce it? Hiba Hamid? Or Hamid? Hiba Hamid. Is that right?
I'm not quite sure myself.
Okay. So, okay. I think it's Hiba Hamid. H-A-M-E-D. Go ahead with your information.
Okay, first name is spelled H-I-B-A. Last name is spelled H-A-M-E-D. Missing from United Kingdom. Let's see. Missing since July 10th, 2007. Date of birth, December 12th, 2000. Let's see. Caucasian female. Black hair. There's not a lot of details here. Missing from Nottingham in the United Kingdom. Last seen on July 10th, 2007. She went missing from her home on Hartley Road in Nottingham. They think that she could possibly be living somewhere in London now. And they're concerned due to her young age. And if anyone has information, please contact the Nottingham Police. She is listed in the forum, listed at UnitedKingdomMissingKids.com. Would you like to share what you have on this case, Brian?
Yeah, real quick, website. Does she have one?
No.
Okay, I found a Facebook, though.
You did?
Yep. First result, and actually second result is us. Just found it. Someone posted. I didn't check it out.
And I have a link for helpfindmychild.net. I don't have Facebook in the forum.
Yeah, just Googled it. The first result is the Facebook. The second one is us. Third one, not related, not related. Not related. Okay. I have 2 dream drawings on this one. The first one says 7th Street down from him, not in London, but safe. London probably being London, England. The next one says Fulldam, F-U-L-L-D-A-M, the number 614, near Stadium, Nanny, 2nd story. And then I put a note in there, we'll research and translate this later. Obviously I did not do that because there's nothing after that. It's possible that maybe that's 7 streets down from him, but not in London, maybe outside the London city limits or something like that. And then someplace named Fulham, or Fuldam, F-U-L-L-D-A-M. And then if it's next to a stadium or something like that, and I don't know what that is a drawing of. Maybe the top of a roof or something like that. Because it says nanny, 2nd story. Maybe that's the top of the roof, and maybe she's with a nanny or something like that. But that's all I have. No symbols of death or anything like that. So hopefully she's safe. But yeah, looking on the internet, I don't see really anything at all, Deborah. Kevin, I have your notes. You want to go over those?
Sure, Brian. What I have in my meditation for Hiba, him, is dead, abducted, black male, 46 years old, named Roy, dark colored minivan or van with a long front end, V8 engine, was used in her abduction. Snow and ice slushy roads, Burbank Road, 1112. And my notes after the meditation: possible black male named Roy involved with abduction and murder of Hiba. He may drive a van of some kind. Burbank could be the name of the street. The number 1112 could be anything. I tried doing some dowsing after that, and I couldn't get anything. And that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Kevin. All right, our next case is case number 671. This is Georgina DeJesus. This case was opened on February 10th of 2009. Deborah, what information do we have for Georgina?
This is for Georgina Lynn DeJesus, and she's more commonly known as Gina. She has been missing since April 2nd, 2004 from Cleveland, Ohio. Her date of birth is February 13th, 1990, 14 years old when she went missing, 19 years old now, 5'1" to 5'3" tall. At the time that she went missing, 130 to 140 pounds. Hispanic female with brown hair and brown eyes. Georgina's nicknames are Gina and Taz. She's right-handed. She has a small scar under her chin, a light brown birthmark on her right leg, and another birthmark on the right side of her chest. She has pierced ears, and in addition to the normal ear piercing, she has the cartilage pierced in her right ear. She's supposed to wear glasses, but she did not have her glasses with her when she went missing. Last seen wearing a white or tan shirt, a white or sky blue colored sweater or hooded sweatshirt, black hip hugger stretch pants or blue jeans with flared bottoms. Says a pale blue or white hooded jacket, pale blue Fat Farm shoes, and large silver hoop earrings. She was last seen walking home from Wilbur Wright Middle School, and once again, this is in Cleveland, Ohio, and she's been missing since April 2nd of 2004. She was in 7th grade at the time, and she was in special education classes. She was still learning how to read. She left the school, which is located on Parkhurst Drive, at about 2:30 in the afternoon, and she walked with a friend, and she walked as far as West 105th Street and Lorraine Avenue with that friend, and she gave her friend 50 cents so she could call her mom to see if they could go back to Gina's house together. The mom had said no, so Gina and her friend parted their ways, and they say that Gina walked at least one more block on Lorraine Avenue before she disappeared near a phone booth. Tracker dogs lost her scent at about 104th Street. She was about 30 blocks from her home on West 71st Street when she went missing. Her mom had given her $1.25 to ride the public transportation bus home, but she'd given some of that money to her friend, and she didn't have enough money left to take the bus, so she was planning on walking, and that's something that she had done before. And she usually got home by 3:35 p.m. when she walked. Her mom started looking for her at 3:45, and she ended up calling police at 5:30 when Gina hadn't come home yet. To begin with, police classified it as a runaway case. At one time, prior to when Gina went missing, she was caught smoking a cigarette, and she was grounded for 2 months. And she was really upset about that. So that's one thing that police thought could have made her run away. Her family says that it's not normal for her to just leave without warning, though. And her mom's birthday was coming up on April 8th, less than a week away. The investigators found no evidence at all that Gina had left of her own free will. So they changed it to an abduction case. She actually disappeared only a few blocks from where Amanda Berry disappeared, and Amanda went missing in April of 2003, so about a year prior. Amanda had not been found, and they suspect abduction for Amanda also. But the investigators have not been able to actually link their cases together. They do think it's possible that Gina's case is connected to a kidnapping and rape case that had happened on March 22nd, 2004, and that, the month before she went missing. A teenage girl had said that a man had abducted her when she was waiting for a bus on West 40th and Denison Avenue, and that he sexually assaulted her, and he did release her. They were not able to solve that crime, so it's possible that that's related to Gina's disappearance. A week after Gina went missing, police said that they were looking for a Hispanic man that could possibly be connected to her case. They described him as being 25 to 35 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, and 165 to 185 pounds, green eyes, and has a goatee and a pencil-thin beard. There is a composite sketch of him, and I can give you that image. As soon as I'm done here, I'll give that to you. They did see him by Wilbur Wright Middle School before Gina went missing, and he was asking for her. They believe that he was driving a white or light blue car with a unique bumper sticker on it, and the bumper sticker may have an image of a wolf on it. They did identify 2 persons of interest in Gina's case in September of 2006, and they arrested both of them on unrelated charges. One of them is a convicted sex offender with an extensive criminal history and at least 9 convictions for sex crimes over the past 2 decades. So 2 decades, 20 years, that's just disgusting. 9 sex crime convictions. I'm sorry, but that really bothers me. Anyway, investigators received a tip that Gina's body was buried in the sex offender's garage, and they searched his home. They didn't find any human remains there, but they did find some other evidence. Neither of the men has been charged or named a suspect in Gina's case, though. They say that Gina is naive, friendly, and trusting, that she's not streetwise, and that her parents have taught her never to accept a ride from anyone, not even from one of her uncles or one of her father's friends. She really loved music, and one of her favorites is J-Lo. They say that some of the other things that she enjoys is slumber parties with her friends, roller skating, and baseball. I'll give you the composite sketch of that person that they say was asking for Gina that was by the school. Okay. Make sure that that's on the case file. Other than that, would you like to share what you have on Gina's case?
Yeah, I was able to found findgeorgina.com too. I put that link up there. She does have a website. Wasn't there before. There's still links to the old forum in this case too. We'll get all that fixed. All right, the first string drawing says still an area close to Memorial. Memorial could be maybe like a memorial park or some type of memorial or dedication or something like that. The second one says yellow car wash. He has taken her there. As if still in the area and there is some type of yellow car wash, maybe that's significant. Third dream drawing says 64-year-old man, glasses, large house, attic, and the number 36. There's a drawing of that house up there. It looks like the old house and looks like somebody had added an extension on or something like that. And the notes say, I believe, that Georgina was abducted and will still be in the same area that she went missing. It says did not draw a picture of the man that took her. So that's all I have. No symbols of death or anything like that. Could be very well that she's maybe still being held hostage. And that's all I have. Kevin, I got your notes. Do you want to read those?
Okay, for Georgina, I have alive, in danger, abducted, runaway, black male, 18 years old, with her, thinking of turning themselves in, will be found. And my notes after that meditation, she is possibly with a black male who talked her into running away. So it may also be an abduction case. The two may be thinking about coming back home. I tried doing some dowsing on it, and I couldn't get anything. And that's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Let's move on to our final case of the night. This is case number 672, Sandra Lynn Kerby. The case was opened on February 10th of 2009. Deborah, what information do we have for Sandra?
Okay, it'll be just a second. I was going to add something else about Gina's case. This is one that Gail has done work on. In fact, Gail was in Cleveland, which is where Gina went missing from. There is a news article from April of 2007 where Gail was interviewed, and Gail states that Gina knew her kidnapper.
Okay. All right. I've got that. You sent me that on Skype too, the image. Okay, I got it.
Yes, I sent the image for that person that they say was near the middle school and had been asking for Gina.
Okay.
And I know I saw that article that Gail was interviewed in was on your site. Gina's case is one that had been listed at one point as a team case, an SOS team case.
Oh, okay. It still is.
And at that point, right, it's a team case. At that point, you had not done work on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this, through the course of trying to make sure that none of the cases are missed, you assigned it a case number and did the dream drawings for it.
Okay.
So you do already have that article.
Okay. So, but that's we'll have to link that to. Usually, it should have been linked, and it's not. I'll link this case to the team case too, so everybody knows what we're talking about. So there's actually two files that are open on this particular case, and I'll do that right now.
Okay.
You want to keep talking while I do this, or anything else you want to add on this? It's going to take me just a second here. I have to figure out which one it is.
As long as you have that information, yeah. So there's actually, like you said, the two files open for it. I believe that this is one that Gail's done quite a bit of work on.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to just take me a minute or so.
I don't know that there's a whole lot of Gail's information posted on there from the work that she's done. So that's something we'll have to talk to Gail about.
Let me open it up and read. I've got the folder open.
I could be remembering that case file wrong. I know the article's there. I don't think that there was a lot of information on that team case file, though. Could be wrong, though.
I'm not seeing it. Was it made private or something? Look again.
Okay, let me find a link to it.
Okay, it's under Gina.
Right, so you found it then?
Mm-hmm, under Gina. That's probably why it wasn't. Yeah, it's Georgina. Yeah. Yeah. let me open that up. But her legal name is Georgina, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I see there's an article posted from newsnet5.com about Gail St. John on the case, but that's all the information we have, Deborah. That's probably why it wasn't posted. It's just a news article on the team case. So from what I'm looking at, as far as I know, there was no team involvement in this case, other than the newspaper report from Gail. I mean, I don't have anything posted.
Right. That's why I was saying we'll have to talk to Gail, because
Okay.
I know that she's done some other work on this case. I know she's done work on the case, maybe not as far as working with you on it as much. I think that was a team case that you guys were going to do some work on together.
Okay. I'm going to link to it regardless.
Make sure that you... Okay.
So we'll have to get with Gail on this for more information, and you know, I ask her. We'll all do some more work on this one, and actually I want to do work on this one in the Hiba case too. Needs to redo. Plus there's a couple from last night I didn't even tell you about. Okay, I'm going to link this right now. And that way, when either side opens, if going to this case now, you'll go to the case 671. And also there's a team case open, so if anything new changes, I'll post it there. Okay?
Okay.
I have a little problem with my images too. You might see some images on the screen here. For some reason they didn't add. That's why I had to add this graphic. It doesn't make any difference. You'll see stuff moving around. Anything else, Deborah?
I don't have anything else for Gina's case.
Okay. This is our final case of the night. This is Sandra Lynn Kerby. The case was opened February 10th of 2009. Deborah, what information do we have for Sandra?
Okay, Sandra Lynn Kerby has been missing since July 10th, 1999 from Fresno, California. Her date of birth is October 20th, 1946. 52 years old when she went missing, 62 years old now. Is that right? It's close anyway.
Close enough.
5 feet 5 inches tall, 140 pounds, Caucasian female, blonde hair, blue eyes. Sandra's ears are pierced. She normally goes by Sandy. And her last name is listed here as Kerby for Kirby. It may be spelled Kirby in some places, in some of the databases or places that you would find her case posted on the net. And she was last seen wearing a brown shirt, brown plaid shorts, gold necklace, a gold wedding band, and a gold Seiko watch with a brown leather band on it. The last time she was seen was, like I said, she's missing from Fresno, California, and that's July 10th of 1999. She was leaving her daughter's home in the 1600 block of D. Young to go shopping, and it was about 11:30 in the morning. Sandra was driving her white 1993 Ford Explorer, which they did locate. It was abandoned in front of a Target store in the parking lot of the River Park Shopping Center, which is within walking distance of her home. And they found her Explorer 2 days after she went missing. They did find Sandra's purse and her car keys inside of the vehicle. They did notice that the driver's seat had been adjusted for someone much taller. So I guess the seat was moved back. There was no sign of her there in her vehicle, and they never heard from her again after that. Sandra's family says that it would not be like her for her to just go missing on her own. She would have contacted her family. Sandra was a teacher at Gibson Elementary School at the time that she went missing. She was married to Frank Ray Kerby, and he was working for the Kerman Unified School District in the state of California. Law enforcement says that Frank gave conflicting statements about Sandra's disappearance and that he's refused to cooperate with the investigation from the initial stages of it. So right from the beginning, he has not been much help. He claims that he was in Fresno the day that she went missing, but that day there was a call made from his cell phone, and that call originated from a location in Reedley, California. Investigators got a search warrant for their home in January of 2000, 6 months after Sandra went missing. They seized a computer. They also took files and personal records from their home. Sandra's diary stated that she knew her husband was having an affair. And the investigators told Sandra's family that they were reclassifying her case to that of a homicide in February of 2000 due to the circumstances involving her disappearance. And they never made any arrests in her case. The investigators are not calling Frank a suspect, but they haven't ruled him out either. He did propose to his girlfriend within days of Sandra going missing. In August of 1999, about a month after Sandra went missing, they did find human remains in Fresno County, California, and the media outlets and other sources announced that they thought that that was Sandra, but the dental records did not match. In 2006, Frank filed to have Sandra declared legally dead. Her mother fought that petition, but it was granted anyway. And Frank says that he decided to have her declared legally dead so he could get the title for their home. And her case is considered to be suspicious circumstances and classified as a homicide. And what do you have in this case, Brian?
Thank you, Deborah. The dream drawings from February 9th say, the first one says, husband did not shoot her, the letter H. Angel's jacket, 37, tall, 6'4", scars on face. H, angels, more than likely means the Hells Angels, is a drawing of the person I'm talking about up there. And in the top upper middle, actually top middle, there is some type of drawing with an X in it. And that same X is actually on the second dream drawing too, but it's not surrounded by a box. Second one says X-ray 29 November. Man's name is Jimmy. Bar. Look 4 tires. Body is in water. The last one says got in car at stop sign. Pine Flat Lake, California. Shot her 3 times. No husband. And then what it says below that, my comments were, I think Sandra was killed by a man drawn above. He's very tall and could use the nickname Jimmy. I think Jimmy got into a car with her while Sandra was stopped at a stop sign. He instructed her to drive to Pine Flat Lake, which I did check, and it's a real location. He shot her 3 times, then dumped her body into the lake. And then the map of that location and where I think she is below, and it's been posted on the case file. That's what I have. Kevin, I have your notes. Would you like to read those?
Sure, thanks, Brian. What I have for my meditation is dead, murdered, body hidden in the ground of a lot-sized area that may be for sale. Murderer is a white male, Mike. Police suspect him. My notes after the meditation: possible that she was murdered by someone named Mike, who is being suspected by investigators, but no evidence has been found for a conviction. And I couldn't get any dousing on this, but I do have a question for Deborah.
Yes, Kevin?
Where was the body found?
Her remains have not been located. They did find remains a month after she went missing in Fresno County, California. And the media and other people reported that it was her, but it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
The body was found, though. Will that be of any help to you, Kevin? It's just the dental record.
Yeah, it was found a month after.
Did they were they able to identify who was found, though? Or do we not know that?
We don't know that.
Okay, well, I guess I'd be interested if it was found in a lot size area that was maybe for sale. But that's after the fact. But I mean, all I do is I get the person's name and do the meditation. So it's interesting to me. There was another case that we just talked about that um, had some similarities. It seemed like to in my meditation after you guys have read the statistics for them and everything. But that's it. That's all I have for that meditation.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. So it's 672. We have a location. I don't know if the area's been checked or not, so we won't do a redo on this one. 670, 671, we will do a redo, and I'll get Gail St. John's help, as well as anybody else who wants to help on Georgina case. And actually, that applies to any case. If you want to help, please let us know. I think we're about done for tonight. Deborah, got a picture of Adji up on the screen. Would you like to give us any updates or anything for Adji Desir?
There's really nothing new to report for Adji. For those that are not normally watching, listening, whatever you want to call it, Adji's been missing since January 10th of this year. He's 6 years old. He's missing from Immokalee, Florida, which is a farm workers village. If you want to, the biggest thing to help Adji, in order to locate Adji and help him get home, is for people to know that he's missing. Some cases get attention and some don't. And sadly, Adji has not gotten, what I would consider his fair share. So please share his photo, print posters, pass those around, hang one at, your local post office. You can learn more about Adji at findadji.com. Something that I recently did for him, I'd like to let everyone know about this site that I did this at because I think it's neat. Go to mymilkcarton.org and you can make a page on there where they put their picture on a little milk carton, and you give all of their vital statistics, and you can post extra photos, and you can tell whatever, circumstances. You can write as much as you want. And within about 48 hours, they actually post it to the site and give them a page. And this is something that you don't have to be a family member or anything in order to add these people. So you can go make anyone that's missing a milk carton there at mymilkcarton.org. So anyone that has a little bit of time on their hands that would like to do some milk cartons for missing people. When I did Adji's, I did for a couple other missing people also. I did one for Jenica Fierstein and also one for Cindy Macklin. So that's a neat site that I thought was kind of neat. And when they posted the page then, for each of the people, I got an email from the milkman letting me know that the milk cartons were posted. And I think they're kind of neat. So that's something for everyone to check out.
That's a great idea,
That's a way
Deborah.
they can help.
I remember the milk carton, pictures, and I don't see that anymore. Maybe it'd be a good idea if that were to come back. I know a lot of the milk cartons are plastic now, but there's got to be a way we put a picture on them.
No, I think that would be a great idea. And if not milk cartons, some way to get more awareness out there, because I'm sure there's a whole lot more missing people now than there was when they were actually on milk cartons to begin with. I mean, even if you just used an average of how many people, a certain percentage per capita, it's a whole lot more populated now. So I would think that there's a lot more people missing. So there has to be a way. If not milk cartons, something else.
All right, so if you guys, please go to findadji.com and print out his picture. And you don't have to live in Florida to print out his picture. If you anywhere, because he could be literally anywhere. So please do that for us. And that's at findadji.com. And we'd like you to register too, if you could. You don't need to register, but we'd like you to register. Okay, so that said, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on, and thank you as always, Deborah.
You're welcome.
We will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.